नमस्कार, मैं सीए मनमोहन जिंदल, आईबीबीआई रजिस्टर्ड वैल्यूअर इंस्टीट्यूट इन फाइनेंशियल एसेट्स. One more registered valuer in plant and machinery is penalized on 9th May 2023. The authority has suspended the registration of the registered valuer for a period of 6 months. So I tried to make it in a summary what should be done and what should not be done. The conduct of valuation is a professional exercise which relies heavily on professional judgment of the value based on the skills and expertise of the value. The valuation exercise is inherently subjective in nature. It is not objective. So it is very important for the valuer to carry out his duty diligently, which includes physically verifying the existence of the assets to be valued and following accepted norms and standards for the valuation. For making the valuation exercise more objective, it is necessary that assumptions, criteria, and analysis being used for drawing specific conclusions shall be elaborated in the valuation. So साइड बाय साइड अच्छी तरीके से एलोबरेट करना. The valuation report prepared needs to be transparent for the sake of the relevant stakeholders, as economic outcome hinges upon the value as contained in the valuation. So there are a lot of stakeholders and they are dependent on the valuation report, so it should be transparent enough. The report should contain needed clarity on the procedures adopted by the valuer and also all the factors considered by him to arrive at the specific valuation. So, from reading the valuation report, it should be apparently clear that document being read does not pertain to the realm of fiction. एक स्टोरी या फिक्शन नहीं लगना चाहिए. In the contrary, it has to be made abundantly clear that the document and findings are based on scientific scrutiny of the corroborative evidences and facts on the ground. तो हवा में बात नहीं करनी है, फैक्ट्स पर बात करनी है, फिजिकली वेरिफिकेशन के बाद बात करनी है, सब कंटेंट्स को इसमें शामिल करना है. Any valuation estimate fit the background or base assumptions and discounting factors used will potentially remain under shroud of the mystery. So, use of science-specific valuation standards. RV is required to verify the record and conducting the complete physical verification of the asset or leaves a wide scope or this will leave a wide scope for undervaluation or valuation. तो कंप्लीट फिजिकल वेरिफिकेशन होना चाहिए, अन्यथा बहुत बड़ा गैप रह जाएगा, या तो एसेट अंडर वैल्यू रह जाएगी या ओवर वैल्यू. RV should not assume that machinery mentioned in the list are physically available on the site. ऐसे ही assume नहीं करना है कि वहां प्रॉपर्टी पड़ी हो, मशीनरी पड़ी हो, एसेट पड़ी हो. While estimating the fair value of the assets, it is a violation of sub-rule 3H or sub-rule 3J of rule 8 of valuation rules if the valuer copied as it is item from the asset register with complete nomenclature and date of purchase and assign some value to the each item without going into details, without conducting the valuation. So generally, asset register contains the description of the machinery, date of purchase, date of acquisition, fair market value including installation cost or salary. Another is issue regarding methodology adopted for valuation and application of specific approach as prescribed in the valuation standard by the R. Regarding the regulatory approval, such as approvals from inspector of the factories, consent to establish from complete competent authorities, pollution control board, local nodal agency, water and sewage board, Ministry of Environment, fire department, etc., which have already been received from the relevant authorities for commissioning and operation of the plant and machinery at the site, and the same has been considered for the purpose of exercise to be further inquired with relevant authorities to validate the legality of the same. Mere assumption that all is available is not. Another is, as per para 20.5 of the IS 300, plant and machinery clearly states that a valuation of plant and equipment will normally require consideration of a range of factors relating to the assets itself, its environment, and physical, functional, and economic potential. Therefore, all plant and equipment valuers should normally inspect the subject assets to ascertain the condition of the plant, also to determine if the information provided to them is usable related to the subject assets. Examples of factors that may be need to be considered under each of these headings include the following: number one, asset related, and number two, employment environmental. The location in relation to the source of raw material and market for the conduct for the product, the suitability of location may have a limited life, example where raw materials are finite or where demand is transient. The impact of any environmental or other legislation that either restricts utilization or imposes additional operating or decommissioning the cost. So this is in violation of sub-rule 3H or sub-rule 3J of rule 8 of valuation rules if the valuation is of a cement plant located in the environmentally or strategically sensitive northeastern region of the country and the RV has missed the important aspect of valuation. This is also a violation of sub-rule 3H of rule 8 of the valuation rule, where the valuation date is not taken as the valuation date as the insolvency commencement date as per the IBC, because the discretion of insolvency professional or registered valuer is restricted under IBC. So compulsorily valuation date should be the insolvency commencement. Issue regarding estimation of fair value and methodology adopted for the valuation. If RV has quoted International Valuation Standard IVS 105 to explain various concepts such as fair value, liquidation value, valuation approaches, etc., specific approaches adopted should have been indicated for the valuation. Fair market value of items just on the basis of sample verification should not be assumed. The book value of all the items should be mentioned in the report. If RV is using cost approach for the exercise, the base cost should appear appropriately and it will treat it as negligent in his approach, or it will treat it as negligent. कोस्ट अप्रोच को बेस कोस्ट को डालना चाहिए, नहीं डालता है तो नेग्लिजेंट माना जाएगा। रूल 3H of valuation rules mandates an RV to mention in his valuation report the procedures adopted in carrying out the valuation. The approach adopted for valuation therefore becomes an important constituent of the valuation. So another is estimation of fair value and liquidation value in respect of productive assets. RV should not assume a flat discounting factor without taking into account the capacity, condition, and alternative uses of the plant and machinery. Physical verification of complete asset is must. There is always a possibility that different assets would be in different conditions, especially when they were purchased, acquired on different days. They might be having different reasons. Clubbing of items and calculating the arithmetic average to estimate the liquidation value of all such assets may never be able to reflect the true valuation of the asset. This may create a huge gap between the book value and cost of the individual. Rule 83H and G mandates an RV to list down the procedures adopted in carrying out valuation, also the major factors taken into account during the valuation. Here is also a violation of Subrule 3H and Subrule 3J of Rule 8 of the valuation. Now, issue regarding purchase price, installed capacity, and conditions of the plant and machine. Valuation of plant and machinery asset is always guided by the techno-economic factors such as installed capacity, present condition of the asset, purchase price of the asset, etc. The report is silent on most of these issues, giving rise to point that the estimation of value is more abrupt than procedures oriented. The valuation report does not substantiate the same. This is in violation of Subrule 3G and Subrule 3J of Rule Valuation Rules. So 83G rules क्या है? Mandates an RV to mention the nature and sources of information relied upon during the valuation. Rule 83J mandates the RV to mention major factors that were taken into account during the valuation. So, procedural lapses are found in the report. Some approaches are not mentioned. Some methods are not mentioned. IBC rule, which is considered that commencement date should be taken as the valuation report is not followed. So many conditions are violated and the RV is penalized. So this is from my side. Thank you for your patience listening. I have tried to make it aware. The order has come on 9/5 only. So every registered value is to be cautioned, is to be cautious, and he should be updated. He should be more informed about the rules, regulations, and regulatory compliances. बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। नमस्कार।